Okay, we're live on everything. So now, tell everybody your name.
My name is Cindy Cartwright.
And how many children have you got?
One son.
How old is he?
28.
Plenty. Now this story is... let's go right back. Let's go back to the fact that you vaccinated your boy.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw problems, didn't you? Quite as in you saw him regress after, was it 2 year vaccines?
A little bit before 2.
Tell us about it.
He had a little bit of developmental delays, a little bit slower on developing his motor skills. He was sick a lot, so we vaccinated from the beginning until he was 2. At that time, he'd had 2 sets of tubes, several ear infections,
usual problems,
right? And a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, it was life-changing for us. She said, would you consider seeing a chiropractor, kinesiologist, and that works with those kinds of things to help children sort of get them back on track, help heal their bodies, help their immune system. And at that point, we were desperate. My husband and I, it wasn't normal to be that sick,
Sure.
So we took him, and great strides were made. His health improved, a different kid. So at that point, we decided not to further vaccinate. And she had given us a booklet to read called A Shot in the Dark. And
great book.
And that's exactly what it was. You take the risk. You take not knowing what it's going to do to your child. So our story was we continued to try to work on his health through those years, and he made some improvements. He got better. This was an active child, active in school. Academically, had some struggles. He had to work harder, maybe, to achieve his, his grades than maybe another child. But when he was 15, he was going on a school mission trip, and I worked for a group of pediatricians at that time. I'm a retired nurse. I worked in allergy and immunology in pediatrics. So my gut was telling me, of course, don't do this, don't go there, don't do it. But I caved, I guess, to the pressure. The pediatrician, he just said, he's going on this trip. What if? This could happen.
Did he say? Do you remember what he said?
No, I really don't. I just remember him saying this would be a good thing to do. And I did know some research. My husband and I, we did research, but we didn't dig deep. And I blame myself on that, like I'm sure a lot of parents do, that you didn't do your research enough, that you didn't find out more what was in vaccines. I feel like 28 years ago, where we came from with research it's huge. The difference, it's more accessible now. I'm not saying it wasn't back then, but we just didn't dig deep enough. So he received a tetanus and hepatitis B, the first injection.
He's 15 years old.
Right. I guess it was probably into the second hepatitis B that I started seeing some changes in him as far as not being as talkative. His activity level was sort of getting a little more sluggish. We went ahead and gave him the third hepatitis B.
Oh no.
Yes.
And what's the gap between each one?
Well, it's like 1, and if I'm telling this right, because I can't remember now, if it's 3 months and then you wait 6 months for the last. But it was gradual. It's hard to explain because it wasn't like this big change. It was a gradual kind of thing. So you were thinking other things were taken into play because he has a lot of allergies, severe allergies. So anyway, as I said, we proceeded with that last injection, and I don't remember the time frame, but it was within months, I would say, that there was a total change where he regressed. He didn't communicate well. He just went within himself, is the best way I know how to describe it. didn't communicate with others. He just did a lot of repetitive OCD things, and it really got full blown. So we had to take some steps and see what is happening. Still, at the time, I didn't even connect the dots with the vaccine. Still did not. But eventually we did. Eventually we came to the conclusion, yes, this is a vaccine injury. Now what are we going to do? We're going to go and we've got to regroup, and we've got to try to get help for him. So I guess my mission, or what I try to do, is try to inform people as best as I can, to tell people that, go with your gut. These moms, I think God gives us that instinct, and sometimes we overlook it. And do your research and listen to people that have been there, done that. And
how old is he? So he's 27?
He's 28.
28. Does he work?
He does some jobs at home. He does, my husband and him he has a little side job that he does some things at home.
So his life has taken a massive turn.
It has, but if you could see where he was and where he is now, it's a huge...
But where he should have been is something completely different if he hadn't had the vaccine.
That is exactly right.
So he lives at home with you guys?
He does, and he is a wonderful soul. Daniel's not aggressive. He's everyone that meets him, he has this radiant, beautiful smile, and he knows. He works on his health as well, which I love that too, because he knows that cleaning his diet up, trying to remove these toxins.
Oops. Sorry, I just blocked a peep. I understand that. Everyone just calm down. I'll unblock. Billy, can I have my phone? Come on, Claire, I need it. I need to help the person out.
Okay.
Well, I had to block one. I haven't blocked a peep for ages. Everyone just hang on 1 second. Let me just go and get her out of jail. Just 1 sec. Wait 1 second. Sorry to stop you mid-talk, but this is extremely important. I can't see her. What's her name? She must have another name because she's not on my block list. Look, guys, this is the blocked. Do you see our girl on there? No. I don't know what's happened there. Alright. I feel sad for your boy. It makes me really sad because it's so late that he really had this bigger aggression.
And I know that it's, you see that in earlier childhood. So that it is an unusual situation, I think. I don't know. I'm sure that he's not, of course, the only one that's happened to because of his age and not receiving the hepatitis B at birth. So I'm sure there's others out there that have done the same thing.
We got, especially in England, when we went to England, there's so many hepatitis B in adults or older people. Injuries, unreal. I mean, this is just, I'm so glad you spoke out about this because you weren't sure when I met you this morning if you were going to. I'm so glad you did.
Well, it is a little different kind of story, I think, but I'm so thankful that God has allowed us to connect with people that has been able to help him, and we're ever learning. I feel like that is the key because there's still some missing pieces to this puzzle with his health. But we're still working. We're still searching. We still.
Well, it's so nice to meet you. And you've been here all day.
We have.
What have you been doing out there?
Well, we've been representing the Tennessee Coalition for Vaccine Choice, and the ladies that have headed this up and that are a part of that could not be here. They have prior engagements, so my husband and I have been with the booth and met some amazing, wonderful people, and of course you and your family, and just want to publicly thank you for all that you do.
It's the peeps, the people that are watching you now here. They're making it special.
You're amazing.
They're sending you so many hearts. They're going, big kisses and hearts going out to you.
And when we signed the bus, that was very emotional because I've watched the bus. I've watched you going all over the country, but when I actually put that his name.
It's very emotional.
It is.
It's like it's almost like signing a tombstone or something. It's a big memorial.
It is.
It's horrible. It's disgusting.
But when I sent Daniel the text and showed him the signatures, and he said, "Way cool." So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad we made him happy. All right. Well, listen. Thank you so much. I'm sending you
Thank
lots
you.
of love. You'll have to watch this back and see it.
Thank you.
Okay. Here we go.